Villagers, thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you. Or wonders they say shall never cease to happen in Africa. For years, the Sahel region has been locked in a brutal soldier crisis. But a recent broadcast by Burkina Faso's national television network has exposed the dark underbelly of how these T networks survived. It will shock you. The military successfully dismantled a major base belonging to the Al-Qaeda affiliated group JNIM, located right along the strategic border zone between Layahan and Namatinga. While the destruction of the base is a tactical victory, the real shockwave came from what and who and the forces discovered inside. They rescued a group of minors who had been forced into becoming frontline combatants. Among them was a 15-year-old boy named Radwana, whose terrifying journey reveals the exact blueprint extreme groups used to steal the innocence of children across the region. The mechanism of recruitment does not begin with violence. It begins with psychological manipulation and economic warfare. According to Rodiana's account, terror recruiters actively target isolated villages, embedding themselves under the guise of religious preachers. They look for the fault lines in these communities, namely extreme poverty, a lack of formal education, and zero economic opportunities. A local leader from the group targeted Rodiana and two other young boys, isolating them from their families. The recruiters use a dual-layer trap, the immediate promise of life-changing financial wealth, and the spiritual promise of guaranteed entry into paradise upon their death. For a child living in a conflict-ridden, impoverished environment, this combination of financial security and religious sanctity is almost impossible to resist. Once the psychological trap is sprung, the operational phase begins with terrifying speed. The children are given time to reflect, but once they agree, specialized emissaries are dispatched on motorcycle under the cover of darkness to smuggle them out of their villages into hidden jungle bases.
As part of the offensives against terrorist groups, the Burkinabe Combat Forces conducted an operation last March to dismantle a GSCM base located between Layaya and Namantenga. The operation resulted in the liberation of several minors made into terrorist fighters by the Raze group. Among them, Ridwan, a 15-year-old kid trapped by promises of financial compensation and paradise. Ridwan recounts the conditions of his enlistment while imploring God's goodness for his naivety. Welcome to
a young soul stained by blood crimes. Ridwan is among those who were captured last March during an operation to dismantle a GSIM base located on the border between Layaya and Namantenga. In the Bulsaria, Ridwan was a Nusra terrorist fighter. He committed numerous crimes for nearly a year. This 15-year-old young man was deceived by malicious individuals.
I joined this group to get money and go to paradise when I die.
The terrorist group that recruited this young man would sometimes come to fish in his village. One day, a terrorist leader targeted 3 young people, including Ridwan. The criminal invited them to join his group in exchange for a large sum of money.
He promised us money, if however we agreed to join his group. He also let us know that if we joined them, we would go to heaven after our death before leaving. He made contact with one of us after 1 month of reflection. We got in touch with the leader to let him know that we were ready to join his group. Emissaries are then dispatched to facilitate the arrival of brand new. The little angels were then about to be transformed into a she-devil. He sent fighters to come, pick us up by motorcycle to reach the base. Once on the basis, we were taken to the new recruits' quarter there. We found about 10 other recruits. We were subsequently trained before taking part in missions such as the guys, the supply of the base, and others. And during his stay on the basis, no friend received. Ridwan is not convinced to get his ticket to heaven. After his death, I understood later that everything what we do in terrorism is one of the worsts who lead the authors in hell. I only hope that Allah, the All-Merciful, will forgive me because I have been too much ease leads tonus. What Ridwan must listen to now. But for how long? Will he be able to bear the weight of remorse?
Upon arrival, the illusion of glamour and wealth vanished instantly. Rodiano described being thrown into a specialized new recruits quarter, where dozens of other children were already being held. From that moment on, their childhood is systematically erased through intense military conditioning. These minors are trained to execute complex tactical operations, including launching armed assaults, setting up executing lockouts, and running dangerous supply lines to sustain the insurgent network. The grim reality, however, is that these promises are absolute lie. During his entire year inside the GNIM network, Rodiano revealed that he and his other children never received a single copper coin of the financial rewards they were promised. Instead, they were treated as disposable assets on the battlefield. This is heartbreaking. This is heartbreaking. Like always, I'll tell you, you see this religion, until we are able to overcome it, the African will not move forward. But a lot of us don't understand whenever we talk about this religion. Any child that we hear about entering into heaven and the way they program it, the way they marketed it, packaged, and then gave to us, will agree. Even if they can say no to the money, but when it comes to that heaven, where they say you just lie down and command and food will come, you see the way they package it. Religion is going to be a problem for us. If we are not able to detach ourselves from these foreign religions, it will be difficult for the African to move forward. This is the greatest weapon ever used against the African. These children know nothing. You only get to know what you are entering into the moment you enter the, like he rightfully told us. It's heartbreaking. I am so sad. You look at our environment, the way children are going through pain. These are the reasons we are having the leaders in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso rising to change the narrative, whereby the children will not be seeing money and be running for it. So they will turn against their own nations. But when we deal with that aspect, we need to deal with the religious aspect, because when the financial aspect is finally gone, the religious aspect will take hold. And if we are not able to break away from that angle as well, it will be very difficult, especially that aspect, because the African can go to any length to do anything just to enter the heaven that was promised us. Yet, nobody has ever gone and came back and told us what is there. But the African believed the narrative because it was passed down to them by, we need to wake up. It's sad how people are still using this as a tool against the African, and we continue to fall into it. We are the only ones that can set ourselves free. United we stand, divided we fall, and united we keep standing forever and ever. The greatest enemy of the African is mental slavery. So let's colonize ourselves from mental slavery. Let's keep sharing to educate our brothers and sisters. Together we make Africa great for ourselves and the next generations that are going to come. So that's the latest around the world. In Africa, West Africa, in Burkina Faso,